was an alien spaceship one time that landed at Lake Worth, and FBI did a lot of research on it, and a lot of people call it the Lake Worth monster. It was actually an alien, and David Lynch found out about it and wrote about it in a poem, put it on a painting. That squirrel right there actually works with the FBI. It's actually a robot, and it records people as they walk up, and it sometimes can ask people questions like, how do you feel about the world today? Then you answer, and then it goes to an FBI database to see if the person's a threat to society. Look at this right here. There's two squirrels up there fighting. You didn't get it because those are also squirrels that work with the FBI. There's a lot of squirrels that actually do, and they have recording devices connected around their neck. They can record you, and then the information goes to their database, and then you get a message in the mail that says that you've been recorded by a squirrel. On Facebook or YouTube, I think it was YouTube, where a kid was making a complaint about face-to-face. Well, he was making a complaint about the teacher passing out these packets rather than face-to-face teaching or tutoring. And there is time for a teacher, because I studied teaching competency. I studied pedagogy in college. There is a time for face-to-face teaching, or what they call tutoring, in the classroom. So a teacher will have to spend extra time with certain students face-to-face or tutoring. They're not simply just to pass out packets. I agree with the student. You're not supposed to just pass out packets and just go get started. There is some teaching that's involved and conversation. So you will have conversations with the student, and it's done in doses. Now also the student can request private tutoring. So any student that's having trouble with their assignment or understanding the subject at hand or the task can get private tutoring, and they can have private tutors that can also talk with the student and have conversations, and more face-to-face teaching. So it's a really good thing. I think the post got like 24 point something million views, and this will get a lot of national attention on how to approach a student, especially if they're asking for tutoring. And that's a good question. That's a good question to be posted. One aspect I think that's important in schools today is to keep the arts and theater arts alive, especially arts, musical theater, all different types of theater, because it's really the only subject where you have to be present if you're going to have live theater. Now, if it's film and media, you could probably do that from a distance. But when it comes to actually live theater or dance, or let's say music, especially plays, live theater plays, it's very important to have that in the school system, because it brings in a community of people. And it also teaches people to be more humane and rather than robots. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do a play about robots. You could do a play about robots in school, but you're going to have real people to do live theater. So it's very important to always have a theater department in every high school. That way we don't lose connection with community and humanity. And so that you can have, because like in live theater, it's mostly face-to-face. There's a lot of like hugging. People will hug in live theater. They even, in Romeo and Juliet, they'll even kiss. And things like that happens in the live theater. So you're teaching the school that it's okay to have human contact to a certain degree, and that it can happen within the drama department. Now, during COVID, they probably taught drama, but they were like 6 feet. So they probably taught them how to behave with a 6-foot rule. And you could still do theater and have a 6-foot rule, or wear a mask. They wear a mask in theater. And then in certain instances, when COVID or coronavirus goes away, which it's starting to, then you can have more human relationships that are revealed in the school system, and not everybody's acting like Mark Zuckerberg and, walking around like a robot. Grab them like this. It's almost like a pencil. You go like that.
Crisscross it. I get so frustrated. I gotta forget it. I'm hungry. Alright, I'm done. Let me screenshot it.
So why do what?
Why do trees hate going to school?
Why do trees hate going to school?
Probably because it's a trunk day. Let's see what it says.
Oh, it's a what day?
A trunk day.
Trunk?
Trunk.
A trunk day?
Trunk.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
All right, let's see what it says. It's thinking. God, what are you doing? Loading up your gun? Penis?
Don't say that.
It's a part of a human body.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still thinking. Maybe doesn't like me.
Oh, there's some reason.
This is learning.
Why would you say trunk day?
I don't know. Because it's a bad day, trunk day. I have no idea what it is.
A trunk day.
It's just my guess.
We're on the wrong end on this side right here. So you're saying that it says, what does it say? Is it a joke?
Why do trees hate going to school?
Oh, why do trees, like a tree?
Oh, this is so easy. Because trees, T-R-E-E-S. Because they're easily stumped.
Oh, they're easily stumped.
Yeah.
Okay. They're easily stumped. October 10th, and Linda's going to do today's history. Go ahead, Linda. Today's history, October 10th.
In 1871.
1871.
The Great Chicago... Don't talk over me. It's my turn. The Great Chicago Fire is finally extinguished. It was a brutally hot day in October 1871.
Great Chicago Fire?
As a heat wave engulfed the Midway.
So it was a Great Chicago Fire?
I'm not done yet, stupid phone.
It gets you the iPhone.
Oh, I hit the wrong
iPhone
button.
14 or something.
No, it's just the way they do it on here. All these advertisements pop up.
Oh, advertisement.
So it started in a barn in 1871. Owned by Patrick and... Wait for it to load, y'all.
Oh, okay. So it happened is a Chicago Fire. What year?
1871.
So 1871, Chicago Fire. October 10th. We're going to try a microphone.
Alright, you're wasting time. Cut it off. We'll come back.
Okay, we might go to Spirit Halloween. Try some microphones.
1871, the brutally hot day in Chicago, October 10th, 1871. The big fire reportedly started in the evening in a barn owned by Patrick and Catherine O'Leary. A few days later, the fire was finally put out, aided ironically by autumn rains. As people started surveying the damage, it's clear a large part of downtown Chicago had been reduced to smoldering ash. The Great Chicago Fire of October 10th, 1871, caused about $222 million worth, more than $3 billion in today's dollars.
What is the year?
1871.
Oh, 1871.
Yep.
About 6 years after the Civil War.
And then an area 4 miles long by 1 mile wide had burned to the ground, displacing about 90,000 people, who lost everything when their homes and businesses were razed.
So right after the Civil War, the Chicago fire happened. 300
people died, though 180 bodies were never found. The fire involved over 70 miles of
Don't
streets
mess with the South.
lined up by 17,500 buildings.
They see all the bad things that started happening after the North started, they...
Oh, wait, hold on. So it still remains a mystery. But somebody had said on a Chicago newspaper, one theory claims someone kicked over the lantern as they tried to get away from an illegal card game.
No, that was God.
Some have claimed the fire started from a meteor strike. Some of these theories are more logical than others. However, the mystery
meteor strike's act of God. A lot of people
folklore.
think it was a meteor strike.
All right, I'm going to go underneath the wiki and see.
It was an act of God. The Chicago fire was an act of God, just like 9/11. It was an act of God. Those people burned and lost everything because they were mean to the Southerners. That's why they hit Chicago. You got to be careful. That's why Wilco's so nice to people in the South.
Probably killed all the slaves.
No, they got their butts kicked. Listen, the North have lost more from.
When was the Civil War?
Civil War was
63.
It was roughly 1860 to 1865, give or take a year. So it was roughly about 1860 to 1865. The Alamo was 1836. So it was Alamo happened, and then a few years, about 30 years later or so, about 29 years later, the Civil War happened. The Alamo was the first part of the big revolution. Then it was carried over to the Civil War because you gotta. There's a long book about it. There's a big connection between the South and the liberation of the South, and also the liberation of black people and stuff. It all started. The Southerners actually did want black people to have freedom, but the North had it confused, and so Sherman was the biggest murderer. He was the most evil person besides Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, they think that he actually was a werewolf. He actually ate people and stuff like that. They fed him people and stuff. He was very evil. He had a major mental illness problem. And then some people think he was a vampire. But they don't really know much about Abraham Lincoln. He was probably from another world. He may have been an alien.